Hello everyone, this is Candy, the 614 Stitcher, and today is Sunday, August the 6th, 2023, and this is my Flosstube episode number 90. Yeah, 90. I would like to say hello and welcome to any and all new subscribers. Thank you so very much for taking the time out of your busy schedule to check me out to see if there is something I can enable you with. And for all of my returning friends and subscribers, thank you so very much for coming back each and every time I upload a video. I have just resigned myself to the fact that Sundays are probably going to be the best day for me to record. I know I keep saying I'll see you on Saturday, but it seems like every Saturday there's something going on or something, so I'm just going to resign myself to the fact that my videos will, for right now, be on Sundays and be okay with it. I'm sorry if you are hearing some background noise. I do have my windows open, so there's like a car driving down the street with this radio blasting, but hopefully you don't hear too much of that. So I have for you this week a new start and some whips, no finishes this week, and just one piece of stitchy kindness. So we're going to go ahead and dive right in. I had a productive week. It was still a sad week. I had my friends finally did move. They left yesterday morning. And so it was bittersweet to say goodbye to them. And then I just worked all week long and didn't do very much of anything besides cross stitching. The heat has come back to Ohio, so you know that's always interesting. But I guess we'll just get on to the stitching. So for my new start, at StitchCon I met Tiny House Stitcher Angie, and we both bought the same chart, and that is Autumn Cloche by Hello from Liz Mathews. And we both decided that we would start it together. And so August the 1st was the date that we chose. And so that is exactly what we did. I started on August the 1st. And here is where I got to. So that is 218 stitches. I started at the top center with the cloche. It was amazing to me how much this looked like the little round ball on the top of the cloche when I was there's something on my screen when I was stitching in. So this is 218 stitches, and I'm liking it a whole lot. I am using the called for DMCs, and I am stitching this on a 40 count slate. This was the fabric that I received at the Silver Needle, and I thought it had great modeling and was a good color, so I went ahead on and chose it. The needle minder came from my friend Liz, the Wandering Stitcher. And so that's where we are on it. Now I'll be putting mine away until probably September. I know I just started it on August the 1st and probably pull it back out. But I am a seasonal stitcher, and so I'll be pulling it back out in the season that it is, which is autumn. So something's not, you know how you feel like something's just not right. So that was my new start for this week. And so now I'm going to go on to whips. I have quite a few WIPs to share with you. My first WIP I have been using for my 25/7, which is a group by Melanie Watkins. It is an open group still, so you can go over and join. It is 25/7 cross stitch. If I'm remembering that correctly, it is a Facebook group. And this week I used 2 projects as my 25/7, and I gave them both 25 minutes apiece, and that is Life is Just a Bowl. Life is just a bowl of cross stitch for August. And here is the stamp, and this is the pin roll. And so here's a picture of the stamp where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. So you can see I got the bee in, the flowers. I already had the whole bee skep put in. I got in the number 8 and the cent sign. The only other part to do on this for this coming week is to put the white outlining around the entire piece. And I'll be working on that again for 25/7. This is being stitched on a 16 count Witchelt lamb's wool Aida, and I use the called for DMC colors. And that is where it is right now. And the pin roll, here's a picture of that where it was last week when I showed it. And here it is now. So I've put in everything. I have like 4 more bees to put in. There's 2 bees that go down here, and I think another 1 or 2 that go up here, and then this will be a finish. When I was stitching this, I kept looking at the flower colors that she chose, and I was just like, where did she pull that from? But now I see, when I was questioning her color choices, I was actually working on the stamp. And so I was like, where did she get these colors from? But she got it from the fabric. On the stamp, this week I put in 443 stitches. And on the needle row, I put in 458 stitches. So that's where we are with that. I will be using the 25/7 also again this week for the stamp to get in all of the white stitches that go around it. So hopefully when I come back to you next week, those will be completely finished and hopefully FFO'd if I get them done early enough in the week. They are also being used for the S in Roots, ROOTS, which is the acrostic for the monthly magazine group. So I'm using S. The designer's name is Sandra Workman, and that's where the S comes from. My next WIP that I used is Snowy by Country Cottage Needleworks. And here's a picture of where it was when I last worked on it. And here it is now. This is one of the first O in the word roots. Roots. I want to make sure I'm pronouncing it correctly. Because sometimes my letters slur or something, I don't know. But And so I have put in all 3 of the hats, and I have this, all the white stitches are in for this snowman's head, and I am working on the second one. I use this because snowman's heads are round like O. And I put in 313 stitches this week for it. I believe that this is one of my oldest WIPs. And I think that because, for one, I started using masking tape when I very first started. Which means this has been unfinished since 2019. And I believe that this Ada came from Hobby Lobby. I mean, it's stiff enough. I don't even need a hoop for this. I'll just stitch. So there we are with that. And I might slide this into 25/7 since the pin needle is completed. I might go ahead on and just slide that into my 25/7. I work on 25/7 in the morning before I get started for work. And it helps me get those stitches in. If I waited until the evening, I have the bigger projects is what I do in the evening, so that's why I use 25/7 in the morning for the smaller projects. Okay, my next project is Seasonal Sunshine by Ink Circles. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. So I had some frogging to do. If you recall from the last time I worked on this, I realized that the color here was different. So I took those stitches out, and then I came down and I put in oh, you know what? Because it's upside down. Nope, that was right. Okay. So then I came down and I put in some more of this purple border all along the bottom. And I put in the line all the way to the break where it needs to go up. So I worked on this purple here. I put in a total of 127 stitches. I used this piece to travel to Stitch in Time. The prompt was a way to tell time, and of course you use the sun to do that. This is my oh shoot, I just lost my whole train of thought. My theme piece for forest, because the sun shines in the forest, and it is also on my year of WIPs. So my plan is to finish this by December the 18th. And I'm feeling really good about it. I have to fix the winter, of course, and then put in the summer, and it will be finished. I need to finish this all the way around also. But I'm going to keep putting it in for as many prompts as possible so that I can meet that goal of having it finished by the end of the week. The end of the week, I wish. The end of the year. Year of WIPs is a closed group, but it is also ran by Melanie Watkins. And I'm not for sure if she's doing it again next year or not. I'm hoping that she will. It's been a good motivator to get some older projects off my WIP list. So that is where I am on Seasonal Sunshine. And so I put in, for Seasonal Sunshine, I put in this month a goal of 200 stitches. So I'm halfway there. Well, almost halfway there. Yeah, halfway there with the 127 stitches. My next WIP is my WIPGO call number 18, which was Miss Shelia's call. And that is... Rosena Disery, 1820. And here's a picture of where it was when I last worked on it. And here is where it's at now. So this is being stitched on, let me pull my card. Oh, where's my card? There it is. I am stitching this on a 28 count cobblestone by Color and Cotton, and I am using the called for DMC flosses. So let me show you, because this is being stitched. The bulk of this project is 1/1, and it was originally called for a 32 count, but I'm stitching it on 28 count. So when you last saw it, I had this middle piece done. So I've put in these little flower buds, and I've brought this over up to here. Now I'll need to do the same over on that side. It is okay. I did okay with it. It does require complete concentration. I have 700 stitches to do in this project. So far I've done 111, which I thought was pretty good for one day of stitching. But that is where it is now. So there are several of these pieces that go across the top. The words are also 1/1, and the motifs down the side are 2/2. So I have a ways to go. I am up here at the very top. So you see how far I started in the middle. So you see how many of those I still have left to do. That's probably where my 700 stitches will come in at. And then all of the words, all of the middle is 1/1, and the motifs on the side are 2/2. So I have a ways to go, but I'm glad that I've moved forward. I'm moving forward on it, and forward moving is what I want. When I talked to her and she chose this pattern, I was like, oh, all the 1/1. But then, you know, if you don't do it, it never gets done. And so thank you, Miss Shelia. I'm glad to have it going and to get the practice on the 1/1, because it is slow going, but as long as I do a little bit on it all the time, then it'll get to the 700 stitches. So it's still early in the month. The way I looked at it was if I do over 100 stitches 7 times, then I'll have my 700 stitches in, and that's what my plan is. So that's what we'll be doing. And my number 24 is on my WIPGO board was Representation Matters, and for that I chose Harriet Tubman. And if you recall, I'm in this area working in her face and in the oval. Here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where she is now. So I still have, the face is so confetti heavy in this piece. It is unbelievable. Like, I still have some stitches to put in up in the hair. I have some still in the face, and then it comes down into her necktie that she has on. I am stitching this on a 16 count Dryads saddle by Fortnite Fabrics. Well, it says that I'm stitching, okay, I have 2 cards in here, so now I need to figure out, it's either a 16 count Dryad saddle or a 16 count hue, both by Fortnite Fabrics. I don't know why I have 2 cards in here, but I'm gonna go with the one that I wrote. So that is hue. So I am having a problem though. You see this color is in the whole oval. And for whatever reason, it's called for Gentle Arts barley. Yeah. Gentle Arts toasted barley. Well, that is not what I'm using. I'm not even using the DMC conversion for toasted barley. And for whatever reason, when I made my little thread keep, I didn't write the number down. So I have one length of floss left in this color, and I don't know what it is. I don't know where I would have chosen the color from. None of that. I've been working, this chart came out in 2020, and I've been working on it since 2020, and that is as far as I've gotten on it. So I am going to be going down to Keepsakes this weekend for, there is a meet and greet for Rosewood Manor designer Karen Kluba. And so I'm going to take this piece and see if maybe Miss Susan didn't give me a different color to use or something, because I have no idea what that color is. But I need to find out pretty quick, because like, once I get her face completed, like, I need to be filling in these stitches coming down as I go so that it won't be so overwhelming. But you know, you look back on your past self and be like, what were you thinking? And your future self is going, I don't know what I was thinking, but oh my goodness, I cannot believe I've done this. But I'm sure, you know, if I take it to Miss Susan, I'm sure she'll be able to tell me, you know, match me to some color of DMC to where I can get back on track with it. So in the coming week, I think this is on my plan. If it's not, it needs to be. But I'm going to work on filling in the rest of her face. There's probably 50 stitches still that I need to do within her face. And there's even some up in her hair. So I'll be working on getting this completed. This is also, oh, I said, this is my WIPGO number 24. And I have to get 700 stitches into it this week. I mean this month. I'm having a rough day, you guys. Not really. I'm really not. Like, you know, it's been an okay day. I've treated myself to dinner and all of that stuff. But for some reason, the talking is a kind of hard. I haven't talked very much today, so maybe that's why. So those, oh, I got one more. I already worked on my Sunday stitch, and my Sunday stitch is Summer Quakers by Rosewood Manor. And if you recall, I am working on this motif right here. And here's a picture of where it was when I last showed it. And here is where it is now. So I have put in all of the green for the motif. I changed out to my Nurge hoop because it gave me, it's going to give me more room than what the Q-snap was giving me. So I put in all of the green for that motif. And so now I have to go back in, and there are flowers, or not flowers, leaves. So these two leaves up here, there's several leaves all over this plate, all over this motif. And there's also some ninja stitches, some that look like little buds. And then I need to come down and put in the pots. So that's where we are. I didn't tell you. For my Harriet Tubman, I put in 71 stitches. And for Summer Quaker, I put in 150 stitches today. I did not start this until later on in the like early afternoon. And so I put in those stitches and then went and got my dinner. But that's where I am on it. It was an interesting motif to do. And it looks even to me, and that is making me so happy. Because this is one that, you know, both sides mirror each other. So I'll continue working on this motif until I get it finished. There are 2 flowers that come off of each side, and then the bulk of it is these leaves, and then there's some ninja stitches scattered throughout the whole motif. And then that is page 1. There's still more. So like there's another big motif that's over here that I'll need to put in. I'm trying to see where else. Oh, but once I get, okay, so once I get the flowers in over here, I have like this is page 1, and then there's a little strip for page 1 that has half of whatever else is on page 2. So I have yet to do all of that. And I haven't forgotten. I still have 2 little motifs that I have to put in right there. So, but I'm making good progress. I would like to have this first page completed before the end of the season. So I'll be stitching on this through until the first day of autumn, whenever that might be. But I would like to have the first page finished so that I can start with page number 2. I am stitching this on a 28 count. How come I can't keep up with my cards? Oh, Palomino by Atomic Ranch Rogue Stitching. And I am using the called for Valdani flosses. And those are my whips for the week. I am very pleased about the progress that I was able to get done this week. You know, I say that every week, but you just never know what might come up to where you can't stitch. I do seem to stitch every day. the 25/7, because I do that first thing in the morning. That always gives me the opportunity to make sure that I'm getting some stitches in. If you notice, my nails are gone. I was swatting at a gnat and slammed my hand down on the table and broke one of my fingernails. And once I break one, I cut them all off. So that's all it took. 1 week later, after I was talking about, no, don't cut my nails off, I think it was like 2 days later, I slammed my hand down on my kitchen table, and looked, and one of my nails was broken. I was like, okay, that's it, and I cut them all off. So now I can really pull, but I still need that little pull threader, so trust me. So I have some Stitchy Kindness I received in the mail from my dear friend Carolyn Zook. Cottage Garden. It's a snow time, and she knows how much I like Snowman, so she sent this to me, and I love it. I've actually been looking at purchasing this, so it came right in on time. So now I need to get it started. And interestingly enough, it is 100 by 130, so it's not as big as what my mind's eye sees. So I will probably get this started over this next, or when winter season comes in. But it's super cute. I love it. So that is my one piece of Stitchy Kindness. So thank you, Carolyn, so very much. I really do appreciate it. And that was the end of the investments, and that's the only thing I have. I had no finishes again. And so now we're just going to go ahead and move into plans. I am going to keep working on Life is Just a Bowl of. I always say that wrong. Life is Just a Bowl of August. I want to get that white stitching done around the stamp, and then get those 3 or 4 little bees put in for the pin roll. I am going to put in a few days on my temperature butterfly this coming week, because for this month I put it in for the T in roots, and I slated 700 stitches. I want that project finished, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get it finished. And so I need to put in a couple of days of work so I can get those 700 stitches in. Now, I won't be getting 700 stitches in next week, but I'm saying for the month I put in 700 stitches. And then I need to put in 100 or so stitches in Women of Honor Sampler. It is the only WIPGO project that I do not have finished. It was from March. So I need to put in 300 stitches this month to get it to a WIPGO finish. And try to get back on track with the road trip. I am really struggling to get back to road trip. I did do the seasonal sun sign piece this week for road trip, but I mean, I'm stitching, I'm just not like participating in getting to any place. And so I need to get back to, I need to make a decision whether I'm going to continue with the road trip or if I'm just going to let it go. And I make the stitches to do it. It's not that. It's just for whatever reason I have gotten out of the habit of doing it, and so now I'm just like, oh yeah, okay. But I'm on the road trip struggle bus. That's gonna be the title of my video, Road Trip Struggle Bus. So I really do, and I was really enjoying it. It's just been a lot. I think because I took such a long break from it that now it's like, but we'll see. Next week next week I'll let you know what I decided. I'm probably gonna jump right back into it. I just gotta get back in the habit of taking the pictures before and after and doing this, writing it down, posting it in the group. It's a whole lot. And I didn't think about that until I wasn't doing it anymore. And I was like, ooh, this is nice. But we'll see. I thank you all so very much. I know this is a much shorter video than what I normally put out. I just didn't have a lot to go on this week. Well, I had a lot of whips. I put in a lot of stitches. I put in a total of 1,578 stitches this week. That does not include the stitches that I put in today for the stamp, the roll, and the summer Quaker. I'll add those into this coming week's totals. But just from Tuesday to Saturday, I put in 1578. So that's not bad. All things considered, I didn't, Monday's not included in that, last Sunday. So, but I'm doing pretty good. I'm just working through the dog days of summer and trying to stay positive, and that's about it. I hope you all are doing so very much more better. I hope you're enjoying. I know the fairs are going on right now, so I hope you all are enjoying your fair. I do want to bring up a point. I have a friend who, and I did do this one time. I put a couple of pieces in the fair. If you have a county fair near you, I would challenge you to get your pieces to the fair and get them judged. One thing, before I started stitching, there was the notion that cross stitching was a dead art, and so I know that's not the case, but I would challenge you to continue to put your pieces in the county, in your local county fairs. It does help bring awareness, and I don't know what else it would do at the fair. You might get a really pretty ribbon. I've seen a couple of ribbons on pieces on Instagram, so please consider doing that. Well, I am going to let you go for this week. I thank you again so very much for all your wonderful comments. I do read them all. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the time this week to really respond to very many of them, but I appreciate them nonetheless, and I appreciate you liking, subscribing, thumbs upping, all the YouTube-y things. I will talk to you again on Sunday next week. I hope you all have a very good week and stay cool. Bye.